Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, DaSean Jones.
Hey, thank you for having me.
What's up, King? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You know, it's been a long time coming because I've talked to your wife about having you on the show many different times, but you was always tied up, man. And I don't like that, man.
Crazy.
No, I like the fact that you was putting in work, you know. If you're gonna be held up, it's better than somebody just saying they don't want to do the show, you know.
True. No, this has been busy. In fact, I just got back from El Paso, so I was out there doing some work. So
yeah. So now that you are, you know, you did you start on the bench?
Nah. So as far as the legal world, I started my own practice when I got out of law school.
Okay.
And then that was in 2011.
Yeah.
And then I think I thought the temperature was right, the environment was right to go ahead and seize the day, so to speak. So I ran in 2018, and I took the bench January 2019.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So you started with practice. You started advocating, then you got on the bench, and then you got back to advocating. Yeah. So, what's something that you see differently that most lawyers never will?
I think something I see differently most lawyers never will. I like that question. So it's like, you know, I get to see both sides of an argument. Sometimes I think I've seen where lawyers get really upset about being denied a particular thing or whatever, and you know, there's certain criteria that has to be met for a judge to make certain rulings, and you know, it's our job to, you know, kind of call balls and strikes, to not get too legal with it, right? We're essentially umpires, and just like baseball, people get mad at umpires sometimes, and I think just understanding that, hey, this person has a job to do, as long as it's not malicious or, you know, you can tell they're kind of favoring one side or the other. I don't have an issue with anyone just doing their job.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. So when you're doing your job, how much pressure is it on you to being a judge, when you was a judge, being a
I'm still a judge, though.
You still a judge? I thought that you stepped down.
I stepped down. So I've been in the military for years, right?
Right.
And so before I just got back from Iraq when I went to law school in 2008. So got back from Iraq January. My mom passed away on Valentine's Day. Well, she passed away at 49. So that kind of motivated me to hey, let me go do some other things. So I stayed in the military. I went to reserves. I became a JAG. I used to be artillery. So I became a JAG. No, Army JAG. Army JAG. I still serve as a military judge. So I'm still I've been a double judge for a couple of years now.
Oh, okay, okay. But when you were a criminal judge, that was what was that? 180.
180.
That was that 180, right? Yeah. So when you were working within that capacity as a black judge in the United States of America, in Texas, Houston, Texas, was there ever any pressure on you to be like extra, I would say, fair to whites?
No, I don't think so. I felt like, well, first of all, I guess pressure is all about, you know, who's being pressed. Again, I started my career out of college going to the military, going to Iraq twice. So you're not necessarily going to press me. Like, you know, you're not shooting at me. You're not trying to blow me up. There's no IED. So to me, I don't look at it. I never looked at it as pressure. I thought the job was, I thought it was interesting. It had a lot of dynamics. But as far as like pressure me to do one way or the other, that was never my thing. I think most people you talk to that actually practice in court, not the media. If you go to people that actually practice in my court, don't matter what side they were, Republican, Democrat, they generally said I was fair. I had good temper, even keeled, and you know, I try to listen. Now, you may not be satisfied with my ruling, you may not like it, but guess what? I can only rule for one person. So either it's 50% chance you're gonna get screwed. So that's just the way it goes.
See, I respect that, man, because there's a huge misconception that a black judge is going to be extra hard on white folks, or they're supposed to be extra hard. Well, there's a misconception from the white side. White people think, oh, he's black, he's gonna try to get me back for what my ancestors did. and I find it that oftentimes when I'm reviewing cases, black judges are more lenient with white people, you know, with white defendants than they are with blacks. I've seen this myself. In fact, there's a few viral videos out there of black judges just being extra kind, you know, and then even the way that they communicate with white people, with white suspects, oftentimes they seem to be a little bit more, I would say, considerate. When they're speaking with them, they're a little bit more kind and gentler.